Hello there. In this video we're going to download a basic compiler environment for Windows, install it and get it set up. If you're not using Windows, this probably isn't going to be of much interest to you, so you can skip it if you like. So this is the web page where we're going to download our compiler from. It's called MinGW, so this is basically a package of the GCC compiler which works on Windows. If you just go into search engine and search for MinGW download, you shouldn't have too many problems finding it. It's on the SourceForge site, which is basically a site for distributing free software. Make sure you get on the page with MinGW W64 because that's the current version. It works on both 32 and 64-bit Windows. So assuming that you've got here, all you need to do is click on download, and your download will start shortly. Okay, so here it is. So we need to save it somewhere, obviously. If you can't think of a suitable directory, then you can just save it on the desktop. Okay, I've already got it there. So this is just a very small program that actually fires up the installer, so we haven't actually installed anything yet. So we have to run this to get the program installed. Okay, so the usual Microsoft warning. Depends whether you can trust them or not. I think obviously if you don't trust them then you stop here, but let's go ahead. Welcome to the MinGW W64 installation. Okay, so we have some settings here we can change if we want to. No idea what any of them do, but I suppose you could change them if you need to. Anyway, let's accept them. So we're going to install it in this directory, which looks okay. I've got enough room. I hope that'll be enough room anyway. So off we go, and then it just downloads the whole thing, which will take several minutes, so I'll just pause the video. Okay, well I hope you enjoyed a nice cup of tea while that was downloading. So it's finally finished, so we click next to continue. Right, so it should have been installed now. So the next thing we need to do is to set our path environment so that the compiler can find it, or whatever environment we're using. So we go into Computer, or My Computer. We click on System Properties, then Advanced System Settings, then Environment Variables, and then we need an environment called Path in here. Now we don't actually have this here, so we need to add it. So the variable name is going to be Path, and the variable value. Now we need to find the directory where MinGW has been installed, so we'll open up Windows Explorer. Okay, so we go to the C drive, then we go into MinGW, then we go to the bin directory, so this is where all the actual executables are located. So this is going to be one of the directories that we need. So we can copy that, and then we paste it into our variable, then we put a semicolon after it. The other thing we need is something called msys, which is also installed with it. So we need to go into this directory and get the bin directory from that as well, if Windows will let us. Okay, so we just copy that one as well. We put a semicolon between them to separate them, and then we paste it in here. Okay, then we just click OK to get out of all these. So in theory we should now be able to do we should have a MinGW shell. Right, the second part of it is the text editor. This is just Notepad++. You can use other editors if you like. I've got a program in here we can try. One thing that you need to do actually if you are using Notepad++ is that the TextFX plugin which provides all the highlighting and indenting and all the other nice stuff, isn't installed by default. So if your version doesn't have it, you have to go to Plugins, Plugin Manager, show the Plugin Manager, and then search in here, then click on, obviously it's not in there because I've already got it installed, but if you don't have it, then you need to click on it and install it. Okay. So here's a program called hello.cc, which is just the Hello World program. So this is just a little program we can use to try out our computer. I've given you the source code for it. So in our MinGW window, if we type C++ to start the compiler, and then .cc, hello.cc, which is the name of the file, let's see what happens. This uses the Unix convention, which means no news is good news. So if you don't get any output, that means everything's fine. If there's a problem, it'll tell you, otherwise it's done it. So the output from this is a file called a.exe. So if we type that in, a.exe, and then run it, hello world. So that's what it should do. So it all works. That's how to set up a compiler environment on Windows. Sorry, one other thing I should have mentioned is that you also need to set an environment for the home. So this is an environment variable called home, HOME, and then in there you put the directory where you want to save your C++ source code files. So my directory is called d://C++. You can call it something else or put it on a different drive, whatever's convenient for you, but you do need to do that so the compiler will know where to look for the source code files. Okay, so apart from that, I think that's everything really. I hope your installation goes successfully, and in the meantime, keep coding.